Mr. President, will the administration begin firing federal employees during this government shutdown?
It's taking place right now, and it's all because of the Democrats. The Democrats are causing the loss of a lot of jobs with their, it's a shutdown. It's their shutdown, not our shutdown. It's their shutdown.
What agencies does
and I hope everybody likes what's the Presidential Walk of Fame. You know that? Have you seen it's beautiful, isn't it? Presidential Walk of Fame. Thank you very much. Again, congratulations to the Navy. They did a great job today. Thank you very much.
So just in case anybody had any doubts, Donald Trump continues to publicly panic over the high-stakes government shutdown that he initiated, and the preliminary polling on this is atrocious for Trump and the Republicans. That, according to these polls, the American people blame Trump and the Republicans much more than the Democrats. And so, as you saw in that clip, Trump is desperately, frantically trying to pin the blame on the Democrats without substantiating as to how they're responsible. It's just they are. He's perfect, and they're to blame. And then he tries to change the subject to the Presidential Hall of Fame. Like, he's so uncomfortable, he's so visibly insecure about this particular topic because he knows the polling on it, that he tries to dangle some car keys in front of reporters and get them to talk about literally anything else. Then he walks away. And it's, again, Donald Trump has a tell. When he is eager to get the hell away from the press, that's how you know he knows on some deep level he's deeply screwed. And we have to talk about that. But before we do, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends. So I did a video earlier today about Donald Trump's disastrous speech in front of naval cadets for the 250th anniversary of the Navy. Well, when he went back to the White House, Trump was confronted by reporters. And again, this is a guy who has very rarely meets a camera or microphone that he doesn't want to stand in front of for 3 hours and just, rant and rave and, ramble incoherently one syllable to the next just to have the attention. Well, again, the polling is taking its toll with respect to the shutdown. It's not going well for Trump, at least so far. That's not to say the Democrats can't possibly screw it up in the future. We'll get to that. But I want to show you some clips from Trump's conversation with reporters. Some of it actually turned to foreign policy. And then at the end, the last clip I'm going to show you is another question about the shutdown, and then we'll look into some recent polling about it. So here's another clip of Trump.
The rebels in DRC, Democratic Republic of the Congo, they continue to kill
in Congo?
Yeah, they continue to
Well, we're looking into that. We've heard
What
that.
about the ceasefire?
We're going to look at that, yeah.
So what's interesting about this is Trump has been saying for weeks, I'm basically solving world peace, okay? Like, I've got like 7, 8, probably like 12 ceasefires and things of that nature. It's all me. And yet, we're already seeing one that he's trying to take credit for already start to fall apart. As The Hill reports, Trump's peace hopes for Rwanda and Congo face threats. So as The Hill reports, Donald Trump's top officials are raising alarm that violence on the ground in eastern Congo is outpacing U.S. efforts to implement a peace deal to end 30 years of conflict between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. The warnings from Trump's top officials counter the president's repeated claims that he has ended, quote, unendable wars. Trump's special advisor for Africa, Masad Boulos, who is also father-in-law to the president's daughter, Tiffany, Special advisor for Africa, Masad Boulos, who is also father-in-law, to the president's daughter, Tiffany, conceded last week that fighting had not ended and more work was needed to follow through on the U.S. brokered peace agreement between Congo and Rwanda. So again, you can tell Trump's like not wanting to talk about it. Yeah, we're looking into it. We're looking into it. Next question, because he knows this undermines his very public claims that he's basically, not only the most ideal recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, which is something he desperately wants this feather in his cap, but it also just undermines his public claims, makes him look like an idiot who's prematurely declaring peace when he has nothing to show for it. And that's Donald Trump in a nutshell, prematurely claiming things economically, diplomatically, militarily, domestically, that has not yet manifested itself in terms of results. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully there is an enduring peace and ceasefire, but right now Trump is being undermined by the facts, and it's pretty embarrassing. Here's another clip.
Mr. President, you said there was an attack yesterday night in the Caribbean. Could you give more details about that?
My people will give you those details.
So as you know, Donald Trump has sent the military, specifically the Navy, into the Caribbean off the coast of Venezuela. And apparently he's just been attacking Venezuelan boats, not ships, not naval vessels, but like fishing boats, speedboats, in 3 or 4 incidents using like naval destroyers and other assets. It's insane because he's violating both domestic and international law. He says, well, I'm vaporizing drug smugglers and drug traffickers. Number one, we don't know that that's the case. We don't know that the drug traffickers or smugglers. Number two, even if they were, they're still entitled to due process and civil liberties because they're not enemy combatants. You're supposed to interdict and arrest drug traffickers. He's not doing that. He's just unilaterally killing them. It's insane. And it could potentially escalate into some sort of like military invasion of Venezuela because Trump has beef with Maduro. But again, it's very concerning that he doesn't seem to know what the hell is going on. And when he says, my people will give you those details, they have been surprisingly, I shouldn't say surprisingly, they have been consistently unwilling to give extraordinary details, including corroboration of their claim that, yeah, we kill drug traffickers and smugglers. Again, it'd still be illegal and wrong for you to do that, especially if you're not doing it in self-defense, but also you haven't proven that those people are whom you claim they are, which is another big friggin' problem. But I digress. One more clip.
Mr. President, when will the administration begin firing federal employees during this government shutdown?
That's taking place right now, and it's all because of the Democrats.
So again, Trump says, listen, it's all because of the Democrats, right? Okay, this is what I really want to emphasize here. Axios has a good little workup of this. Trump faces more shutdown blame, but Americans remain divided, because of course they are. This is the United States. In 2025, we're divided about everything. More Americans disapprove of how Republicans and Donald Trump are handling the government shutdown than disapprove of congressional Democrats, but no one appears to be sailing smoothly in a new poll released Sunday. The government shutdown has prompted an avalanche of finger-pointing and social media trolling. Americans appear divided on who should shoulder the blame, though several recent polls had showed that more think the onus is on the GOP. The majority of Americans, however, are at least somewhat concerned by a shutdown's effect on the economy, the military, federal employees, and a range of other issues, according to a CBS News YouGov poll conducted at the beginning of the month, October. 39% of Americans blame Trump and Republicans in Congress for the shutdown, compared to 30% who blame Democrats. So that's a substantial difference. Another 31% said both sides share the blames equally. Okay, so let's see. Over half of Americans disapprove of how Trump is handling the shutdown. 52% also disapprove of how congressional Republicans are handling the shutdown, with 49% disapproving of congressional Democrats. Just 23% say Republican positions are worth having a shutdown over. Democrats aren't far ahead, with just 28% saying their positions warrant a shutdown. On both questions, 32% said they weren't sure. Okay, but again, either way, Democrats are coming out ahead. Asked what issues the shutdown was over, 36% said healthcare, the centerpiece of the Democrats' argument. So that's also good news for the Democrats. Right now, knock on wood, despite the enormous asymmetry in the media landscape, Democrats are currently winning the messaging war. A recent poll from KFF found the majority of Democrats, independents, and Republicans, so 92, 82, and 59% respectively, support extending the enhanced tax credits that Democrats demand be included in any government funding deal. So when you look at the actual demands, everyone's like, yeah, what the Democrats are asking for, that's good shit. We support that. So this is really bad news for Trump, and part of the reason why he's publicly panicking over this shutdown. Now, historically speaking, Republicans have shouldered the blame for most government shutdowns because they trigger most government shutdowns. And so it says something that even though Trump is in power now, the majority of Americans are basically saying, Trump has the greater, Trump, you need to be the one. We're making deals with Democrats to keep the government open. The fact that the government isn't open is your fault. And what Democrats are asking for may or may not be worth a shutdown. Certainly it's more worth a shutdown compared to what you Republicans want. But either way, what they're asking for, the majority of Americans, the overwhelming majority of Americans, including independents, because remember, the MAGA coalition isn't comprised simply of MAGA and Republicans. They needed independents to get back into power. And a supermajority, 82% of independents like, yep, no, the Democrats are right about this. What they're asking for is reasonable. We support it. Get it done. So we'll see what happens. But so far, it's not been good for Trump. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.